It's Monday. It's morning.
And it's Macabre. Welcome to Monday Morning Macabre. We're your hosts, Scones and Darcy, a.k.a. Count Darcula and Frankenscones.
Yes.
Yes.
We have our own cereal. Do you think people like the intro or do you think they hate it?
I think they... You know what? I think they don't mind it because we don't go on for like 15 minutes just talking about nothing.
That's true.
It's Monday Morning Macabre, the show where we talk about spooky stuff, creepy stuff. Mysteries, other creepy stuff.
Bunch of little scary, wary stories.
Each episode, either Scones or I will bring a story to the other, and we will chit-chat about it. And you'll listen, goddammit.
Yeah, what's really scared me is the weird, like, Santa and Mrs. Claus, like, dolls that are leaning at you right now.
There's two dolls behind me that are leaning, kind of malevolent, I think is a good word for it. So I want to make a shout out to the people who wrote in and gave us suggestions because that was super cool of you. We really appreciate you guys sending in emails and messaging us and everything. And it's very exciting to see people corresponding with us.
It is, and we've been lucky enough to have a listener base that's growing still.
Yeah, it's not growing, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And we will take your suggestions and see what we can do with them. So keep sending those in. We appreciate those. Anyway, today I'm going to be bringing you the story.
Serving it up
hot and fresh. Today's story is about, it's actually an old story. Not story, but historical documented fact.
Facts.
From the mid-1500s, early 1600s.
Ooh, what was going on in the world at that point?
Nothing good. Just
Nothing
all
good.
bad. Everything was terrible. Today we're going to be talking about the Countess of Blood.
The Countess of Blood?
Elizabeth Bathory.
I love her already.
So, Scones, have you ever heard of Elizabeth Bathory?
No, the Countess of Blood sounds like
it's
a character in Castlevania.
It does sound like a Castlevania character, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense because a lot of modern day vampiric things and creepy things were based off of this woman herself. So I have to start this story by saying this was a suggestion from my wife.
Hey,
I'm not
going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
You don't want to do... What are you trying to do? Nobody knows what you're trying to do.
No, just totally talking about something else.
Yeah, so this is a story that my wife was like, hey, you got to do an episode on this. And I was like, I'm no fool. I will do an episode on
So she
that.
forced you.
Yeah.
You have to.
She held me down and she said, you're going to do an episode on this. This is how your wife talks all the time.
It is Monday. This episode isn't about this.
He's going to have an accident. She just became...
She's an old-timey mobster.
Yeah, she's an old-timey She only wears pinstripe suits and smokes cigars all day long.
Yeah, and leaves like severed animal heads in your bed.
Exactly. She's like, hey, you gonna come home early today or Vinny the Fuck, I just watched The Irishman.
Vinny the Whisperer?
Yeah. I fucked everything up. I just watched The Irishman. I should have been able to do something. Okay.
All like 4 hours of it.
Yeah, that is a long movie.
We brought up Castlevania and The Irishman. Netflix, we want a deal.
Listen, Netflix.
Make a show out of this.
So, Elizabeth Bathory. Let's start with her birth and childhood. Hey,
Queen of Blood, birth and childhood.
Countess of Blood. Born in Transylvania in 15...
Oh, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, she's off to a strong start with the Macabre game.
If you're a fan of ours and you're in Transylvania, like... send us a pic or something. That's so cool.
You're so cool.
So cool.
You probably sit at the popular kids table.
Oh, I must.
So she's born in 1560 to 1561. The exact date is not known. She spent her childhood at Ext Castle, which is, it's Ecsed, but it's pronounced Ext. At least that's what the pronunciation machine thing said when I Googled
pronunciation machine.
I should say there's a lot of like Slovakian and Hungarian names in this, so I'm not going to do a great job of that.
I love it.
But you know what?
It's
not my job. My job is to report macabre stuff, not to be a linguist. So her father was Baron George Bathory VI, and her uncle was a voivode of Transylvania, And a voivod it's the highest ranking official of Transylvania.
That's
a fun new vocab
a voivod?
Voivode, a voivod.
That's so...
Yeah, so they're
so
called
much
voivod.
better
Instead
than,
of just
president?
being like the head of the thing, it's just, I'm a voivod.
Voivod? What's his name?
The
Voivod.
father... Well, okay, so this was...
Is his name Vlad? Is it Voivod
No,
Vlad?
it's not Vlad.
Oh.
So father was the Baron George Bathory. Mother was Anna Bathory, who herself was the daughter of a voivod of Transylvania.
Wow, a lot of voivods in this family.
Yeah, so really high-ranking, high-status family, very, long line of nobility. They were kind of like the biggest deal in Transylvania.
They're hot shit. They were the Harry and Meghan.
Yeah, they were the Megxit of Transylvania. So she was the niece of the King of Poland. That's how huge
well-connected they are.
Well-connected this family was. As a child, Elizabeth suffered from seizures due to epilepsy, possibly stemming from inbreeding within the family.
Oh.
Gotta keep that bloodline going, Scones.
Genetics.
Why go down the street when you can go down the hall, baby?
Oh my...
Ooh, okay.
Ooh-wee.
So, treatments at the time for epilepsy...
Was like what, bashing her over the head with a pan or something?
As you can imagine, they were not super well versed in treatments.
They just like threw a rosary at her body while it was season out.
Well, so the treatment at the time included what?
What was the treatment at the time? I'm laughing because I love 1500s and like any like pre-medicine treatments are the best.
Yeah, this is...
They make no sense. It's just like one dude made it up.
Yeah, it's absolute superstition. There was no medical backing for any of it. So the treatment at the time including rubbing blood from a non-sufferer on her lips and drinking a mix of non-sufferer's blood and skull pieces.
Oh, fuck. Skull pieces?
Yeah, so they're like, okay, we're going to take some pieces of skull, we're going to take some blood, you're going to like down this shot of it, and it's Transylvania, baby. Like that's on brand. It is macabre as F, bro.
And very Transylvanian.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's right. It's literally like, well, actually, at the time, that's the thing is they were just doing everyday shit. And then later on, people were like, that's nuts. You're going to be the vampire world now.
It was just like run-of-the-mill stuff.
Yeah, right. So they're like, oh yeah, it's Sunday. Drink this blood and skull. So this is thought to have started the eventual obsession with blood and kind of the macabre and torturous, life that Elizabeth goes on to lead.
Ooh.
So like all of the...
That girl likes blood.
Yeah, all of the crazy serial killer people we talk about, another weird childhood. It's almost like it's connected. Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, 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 bum.
Now, she
bum,
was...
bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum.
She was raised by her family to be cruel. She witnessed... Hey, everybody. I said that with an inflection that...
Raised to be cruel.
Hey, everybody.
But you know what? 1500 Transylvania, cruel is cool.
Can't spell cruel without cool. So she witnessed many tortures, beatings, and executions ordered by her family. Hey! Furthermore, sources say that her uncle taught her Satanism, while her aunt instructed her on witchcraft and sadomasochism.
Transylvania's so cool.
Yeah, it's like literally like...
The royal family of England's so fucking stupid compared to this sweet voivod shit.
Yeah, I hope voivod's still a term used. I doubt it is, but I wish it was.
If it is, let's have the current voivod of Transylvania on.
That would be sick. And
he
probably would. He might speak English. Who knows?
Yeah, he probably does.
Anyway, because of her nobility, she knew 4 languages, Latin, German, Hungarian, and Greek. She was wealthy, powerful, and well-educated. So if she was born today, her life would be set. But because she was born before they realized like a lot of things, it was way not set.
Based on what you've told me so far, it sounds like the drinking blood and skulls worked because I have not heard anything about her epilepsy since that.
So that still was a problem throughout her life, which is another thing where like once that happens, aren't they like maybe that didn't work? Why are they like no, keep doing it?
Nah, it's just the wrong blood.
Yeah, right. That guy obviously was not a non-sufferer. Yeah. So let's get into her married life. Ooh, Inquirer of podcasts. Oh, Scones almost just knocked over his beer.
Yeah, married life.
So she was engaged at 10 years old to Ferenc Nadasdy, a member of one of the wealthiest and most influential families in Hungary.
Yeah, you know the what's the name?
You know the Nadazdies.
The Nadazdies.
You know the No Daddies.
The No Daddy. The NoDaddy.coms.
The marriage was arranged, as you might assume. And because Elizabeth's social standing was higher than Ferenc's, Elizabeth kept her last name.
Wait, No Daddy's first name was Ferenc?
Yeah, it's Ferenc. Ferenc. Ferenc.
Ferenc GoDaddy?
FerencGoDaddy.com / whatever it was.
I don't remember.
That's a callback that I cannot remember. Yeah, so Ferenc took the Bathory last name because Elizabeth was of higher social status. So they got married when
Future's female, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Back in Transylvania. They were married when Elizabeth was 15 and Ferenc was 19 on May 8th, 1575. Ferenc's gift for the wedding was his household, the castle of Csejte, and the surrounding 17 villages.
That's a lot of villages.
Yeah, that's a lot of villages.
That's so many. There's probably so many like pitchforks and
so she gets like
bales of hay.
Exactly.
And like old wooden wheelbarrows full of turnips.
Yep, keep going. I want 3 more
1500s villages. Guys with like weird things on their like hats that are also kind of look like old timey football helmets.
Yep. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I see that one. Anyway, so she gets this whole like entire like countryside full of villages and towns and this huge castle. And in 1578, Ferenc became the chief commander of the Hungarian troops and leaves to fight in the war against the Ottomans. Classic love story. It's believed at the time that Elizabeth first started doing her evil deeds while Ferenc was away at war. In 1604, we're going to jump ahead a little bit because things are a little quiet between.
How far ahead is that?
So Ferenc's gone for about 13 years from 1578.
Holy shit, that's a long ass war.
Yeah, to like 91. It was called the Long War. That's the nickname of the war.
What a name.
Yeah, what a name. So handsome.
People that's a current theme throughout our podcast is how unoriginal people in history were at naming stuff.
Yeah, they were not good.
Not good at all.
So we skip ahead like 13 years, well, more than 13 years, but that's how long he was away, basically. We skip to the early 1600s. In 1604, Ferenc dies. And between 1602 and 1604, rumors started spreading throughout the kingdom of Elizabeth's bad deeds. The atrocities she's been committing. 1610, King Matthias II, the Emperor of Hungary and Croatia, sends György Thurzó to investigate the matter of these rumors.
George Porge.
So basically,
he's like the Jonathan Harker.
Sure. Yeah, except he was kind of he had his own thing going. It doesn't matter. It's not even.
Who gives a fuck about Georgie?
So people are like, hey, people are disappearing and going to this castle and like weird stuff's happening. Dear King Matthias, can you like help us out? So he sends György Thurzó. Thurzo orders 2 notaries to collect evidence in 1610. The notaries collected testimony from more than 300 witnesses. According to the testimonies, and this is where we get into that good macabre stuff.
Get in.
Bathory's initial victims were servant girls aged 10 to 14 years, the daughters of local peasants, many of whom were lured to the castle by offers of well-paid work as maids and servants. Later, Bathory is said to have begun killing daughters of the lesser gentry who were sent to her gynaeceum.
A gynaeceum?
Yeah, so a gynaeceum...
That sounds like the scariest version of a gynecologist.
So it's like where parents would send their girls to learn courtly etiquette.
Oh, that's not what at all what it sounded like.
Yeah, I mean, it has the same root word, but... So, abductions were said to have occurred when parents would send their children to the gynaeceum, and the things that she would do to these poor village girls include, and it's pretty rough, not great, so heads up there. They include severe beatings, burning or mutilation of hands, biting the flesh off of faces, arms, and other body parts.
She's biting their faces off?
Yeah. Freezing or starving to death.
Bath salt style?
And the use of needles was also mentioned by the collaborators in court. There were many suspected forms of torture carried out by Bathory, according to the Budapest City Archives. The girls were burned with hot tongs and then placed in freezing cold water. They were also covered in honey and live ants. Bathory was also suspected of cannibalism.
Oh.
So she is like every single horrific torture thing you can think of. Like there's a huge bulleted list of all like the witness testimony of all these different things.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's if you want to ruin a afternoon, go read that list.
This lady wanted to be hardcore.
Yeah,
so she lived hardcore. That's insane.
Yeah, it's It's very 1600s Transylvania.
Yeah.
So some witnesses named relatives who died at the gynoecium. Others reported having seen traces of torture on dead bodies, some of which were buried in graveyards, and others in unmarked locations. 2 court officials claimed to have personally witnessed the Countess torture and kill young servant girls. And according to the testimony of defendants, Bathory tortured and killed her victims not only at the castle, but also on her properties in Sarvar, Pozny, Vienna, and elsewhere. So she had it all set up all over the kingdom.
Oh.
Yeah. Now there's also...
Was she doing like Satanist shit with it?
That's part of it, is just like that whole kind of upbringing of like learning Satanism and sadomasochism and all that. It's really a perfect cocktail of like, you got some fucked up parents and you have epilepsy where you're drinking blood all the time as a kid, and it's like this is
all that blood really goes to the head.
Yeah, she was. So this is the product of all of that.
I can't believe you didn't get like a transmitted disease or something from.
I'm sure she probably did. Who fucking knows? Like, yeah, listeners out there, don't drink blood and eat skulls and stuff. It's not great.
It's not all. Listen, the Jenners might prop up all these new beauty techniques and stuff. Drinking blood and skull, it's not going to get you anywhere.
Well, it's also rumored that before her husband died, Frank
GoDaddy died, or No Daddy.
No, yeah. Before
Phalanx No Daddy.
Yeah, before Ferenc died.
I like Phalanx No Daddy way.
So before Ferenc died, it's rumored that he built her own like torture room to do all this shit in.
Aw.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What a good husband.
Hashtag relationship goals.
Hashtag supporting hobbies.
Anyway, back to where we were. Thurzo went to the castle and arrested Bathory along with 4 of her servants, who were accused of being her accomplices.
Wait, she can get arrested?
What?
Isn't this like the 1500s? Yeah. How can she get arrested? Isn't she like the voivode?
Well, the king sent the people,
okay.
Right? So like he sends like soldiers and this investigator. And he arrests Bathory along with 4 of her servants who were accused of being her accomplices: Dorotia, Semtez, Ilona Joe, Katerina Benedict.
Ilona Joe,
Katerina Benica, and Janos Uvri.
Oh,
Janos. So that's a very specific reference. Anyway, Thurzo's men reportedly found 1 girl dead and 1 dying, and reported that another one was found wounded while others were locked up. That's the probably most accurate story, but what a lot of people say and what like the story, like the legend has,
is that that's the better stuff.
It's that the soldiers in Thurzo found her bathing in virgin blood in order to prolong her youthful appearance. So the reason she's known as the Countess of Blood is because this entire time she's been trying to take the blood of these young like girls and drink it or bathe in it in order to preserve her youth. Very vampiric.
You want to know something really scary? Well, not scary, but kind of like weirdly related.
Sure.
So in college, I met this guy. His lab at Stanford University was using mice and was taking young mice blood and putting it into older mice, and they would have more youthful behavior.
So it worked?
It would lesser symptoms of mice that had like Alzheimer's or dementia, and like make them have a better quality of life like a younger mouse.
That's insane.
So there's like a legitimate science.
I like how we shit all over the science of 1500s and medicine, and then all of a sudden it's like,
she fucking figured it out. I mean, the torture seemed unnecessary, but
oh my God, that's actually wicked sick.
Yeah.
I take it back, Elizabeth Bathory.
She had a point. No, she did not have a point.
She did not have a point. What she did was real messed up. I hope we don't have to make that known.
That'd be so funny if
we just completely 180 and we're like, you know what?
You know what? Cool. Is it really that bad?
You know, it's like they were peasant girls. Like,
oh man, what a world we live in today.
Yeah, oh boy. Anyway, that's a Josh. Thurzo debated further proceedings with Bathory's son Paul and 2 of her sons-in-laws. A trial and execution would have caused a public scandal. An influential family which ruled Transylvania would be disgraced, and Elizabeth's considerable property would have been seized by the crown. Thurzo, along with Paul and her 2 son-in-laws, originally planned for Bathory to be spirited away to a nunnery, but as account of her murder of the daughters of lesser nobility spread, it was agreed that she would be kept under strict house arrest and no further punishment would be had.
Yeah, I can't imagine the kind of fucking insane shit that woman would have got into at a nunnery.
Well, yeah, right?
She would have bowling at China shop, dude. Like,
it still makes me mad that she was not just executed immediately.
Yeah, well,
that's life, baby.
Hey.
The exact number of Elizabeth Bathory's victims is unknown, and even contemporary estimates differ greatly. During the trial, Dorothea Sentis and Janos reported 36 and 37 victims respectively during their periods of service. This number is rumored to be as high as 650 servant women and peasant girls.
How are there that many servant women and peasant girls in these villages?
Well, that's 17 villages, dude. That's thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
I guess so.
So, one of the most prolific serial killers of all time.
Yeah.
Easily. And one of the most absolute batshit people.
And
ever.
like enabled. She was gotten away with it for so long.
Right. So in
one of the OG vampires.
The next section I labeled as She Did. Bathory was locked in a bricked room, but according to other sources, she was able to move freely and unhindered in the castle. So today the bondage could be called house arrest. In the last month, she signed her arrangement in which she distributed the estate's lands and possessions among her children. On the evening of...
She had kids?
Oh, yeah, she did have kids.
What the fuck? These kids must have been the most fucked up people.
Yeah, imagine the helicopter parent of being Elizabeth Bathory as your helicopter parent.
Yeah, she's like, no dessert till you finish your blood.
On the evening of 20 August 1614, Bathory complained to her bodyguard that her hands were cold, whereupon the guard said, "It's nothing, mistress, just go lie down." She went to sleep and was found dead the following morning.
It's nothing, mistress. Go lie down.
Yeah, just go take a breathe.
Your
Walk it off.
hands are cold. Have you tried laying down? It's wonders for your hands.
Yeah, rub some dirt in it. You'll be fine. And she did.
Ooh, no.
So, that is the life of Elizabeth Bathory. However, there is some rumor and suspicion that this entire thing might have been
alive.
No, yeah, her youth, like
surviving off the blood of. It's the Queen of England. If you told me the current Queen of England,
Queen
got
Elizabeth
into like
was
some blood
Queen
shit.
Elizabeth.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck. Oh bro,
listeners, this is a Monday Morning Macabre exclusive.
This is exclusive. If you're a CNN news reporter, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck. It's ours. I scoop.
All right, that's my new favorite.
The Queen of England is actually Elizabeth
Bathory. And she's like 500 years old.
Yeah, and she's just been sucking down like young blood.
Sucking down young blood. So that's the story. However, there is suspicion that it all might have been a conspiracy. Several authors have argued that Elizabeth Bathory was a victim of a conspiracy. These authors argued that the proceedings against Bathory were largely politically motivated, possibly due to her extensive wealth and ownership of large areas of land in Hungary, escalating after the death of her husband. The theory is consistent with Hungarian history at the time, which included religious and political conflicts, especially relating to the wars with the Ottoman Empire, the spread of Protestantism, and the extension of Habsburg power over Hungary. So, a lot of people are like, they might have just made all this up to get her out of power so that they could upseat the throne.
Classic patriarchy, can't see a woman in power. Have to make up rumors about her eating skulls
and drinking blood. So where I like to follow the logic, like the story of she was the Countess of Blood.
Yeah,
I think it's way cooler.
Yeah, definitely more interesting.
It's entirely possible that she might have just been a lady in power in the 1500s, and so she got absolutely shafted.
And so that was her first crime. And so she was swiftly punished for it.
So you get to make up your own mind on that. But there's a lot of references in pop culture, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
Primary inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula is Elizabeth Bathory. So that's like the biggest one.
Of course, he made her. Bram was like, it's a dude.
It's a dude, baby. And this is actually where my wife learned of Elizabeth Bathory. I wrote literally the villain in a horror movie called Stay Alive about Frankie Muniz being a pro gamer who gets run down by Bathory in a wagon.
That is amazing. Wait,
there's a movie.
How have I not heard of it?
All right, there's a movie called Stay Alive. It was made in like the early to mid 2000s. It's about a video game where if you die in the video game, you die in real life. Frankie Muniz is involved in this movie for some reason. And I have no idea where they decided this, but the villain in like the spirit of the video game that comes to life and kills people is Elizabeth Bathory. So I have no idea why that was the choice they made, but
it's Disney's only slasher film.
What is how many, does it have a Rotten Tomato score? Can we find?
What the fuck is this?
I have watched it.
How
Jenny
is this real?
loves it. My wife loves it. Can you tell us the Rotten Tomato score? I really want to know.
You know Disney has kept this thing under
Oh my God. You are not finding this on
wraps.
Disney Plus at all.
9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, hey, if you like it, enjoy it. If you want to spend a night tonight watching a movie about what you just learned, look it up. You'll have a good time and be very confused.
Well, it's playing on HBO 2 at 4 a.m.
Oh, it's going to be on. Yo, you want to stay up till 4 a.m.?
Check out some Frankie Muniz Gold.
Yeah, so.
That Disney fucking slasher film.
I just remember, it's hilarious because it's like made back in the time before like, it's one of those things where it's like they're playing the video game, so they have to smash all the buttons on the controller. And
and they're swerving around
right.
in their chair, like going nuts
Yeah,
intense parts.
It's very, very, very funny. So look up Stay Alive. Shout out to Frankie Muniz. In addition to that movie and Bram Stoker's Dracula, there have been numerous plays, books, TV shows, video games, toys, etc. She basically runs the gambit of like pop culture where she's in a million things.
Yeah.
So that is the story of Elizabeth Bathory, the Countess of Blood.
The Countess of Blood.
If you liked that episode, let us know. Leave a review. Tell your friends.
Don't drink blood.
Don't drink blood. Don't eat skulls. Don't be a wackadoo person who does that kind of thing.
If you have epilepsy, see a doctor.
See a doctor. Follow us on our socials.
You get all of them at www.mondaymorningmacabre.com.
www.mondaymorningmacabre.com for all of our episodes, and you can contact us on our contact page there if you'd like, or you
write
can
in suggestions. If we don't get to it right away, we're definitely got it in the
vault.
In the vault, because there's lots of scary stuff going on. We could always use more sources and stuff like that.
And we'd like to hear what you're interested in. And also reach out to us on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram Monday Morning Macabre, Twitter Macabre Pod, and let us know what you're thinking. Tell us
what you're thinking.
Tell us what you're thinking.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, what do you just give us a ring? Tell us what you're thinking.
Hey, you up?
Hey, unless
listener, you up?
Listener, you up? Have a good Monday.
Have a good boy.